Well, hello everybody. I want to do this Facebook Live. It's huge, it's explosive. It's the truth that Donald J. Trump presented at the G7 in Kananaskis, Alberta. A lot of people don't want to believe it. Canadians, in massive majority, don't want to believe it. Conservatives, in massive majority, don't want to believe it. And it's troubling for me. Jonathan Bahai asked for this today. I said I would do it. I've got around to it now. I grabbed the old article, still available for anybody to look at. We even have very common knowledge now, not so common just a few years ago when Jason Kenney was the Premier of Alberta. Just like Daniel Smith, who is exactly the same thing. And conservatives don't believe that yet either. But you will see. Now we're going to go through Donald J. Trump's statement. The Canadians have such a very, very hard time. Now they say, it was Harper. And yes, it was Harper. It was Harper who removed Russia from the G8. He led the charge on it. He put Canada in a bad place. But where did he get the Privy Council knowledge and the resolution? Well, folks, it comes from Justin Trudeau, Pierre Elliott Trudeau's son, who was raised, had intimate knowledge of the Privy Council. He was the Liberal Party leader of the year. And he wrote the resolution after offending Ukraine and Russia, giving Russia a mud pie right in the face during Olympic hockey, world hockey, when Russia was still there. And this is off the cusp in February of 2014, off of the Crimea. And folks, if you don't know, you should go look at some huge, which I could have added to this, but I don't want to stray too far from it. But if you want to look at the hugest deals the United States and the former Soviet Union made with all the colonial empires, France completely decimated by the Axis powers that Canada's in bed with now today. All Canadians are fully embracing today. The USA says, not on our watch. Russia says, to hell with Canada. China says, to hell with Canada. We own you and we own your resources. If you think you're just going to walk away, you've got another thing coming. And USA even says, where's China? Trump says this in Kananaskis, Alberta. He says, where's China? China should be here. I'm in Canada, right? I'm in Alberta. I want to talk resources and trade and all these economic things. Where's China? Because they've got you lock, stock, and barrel. I'm going to go through some key realities and truth that nobody, I repeat, nobody can deny. This is liberal conservative collusion, as it always has been. And if I wanted to expand it, I can promise you all, under NDP leader Thomas Mulcair, he was right on board in bed with all of it too. They all are. I can't find anything major ever in Canada's corruption that doesn't involve entirely all the Crown, all federal parties, all provincial parties. And they lie to you. They even point to each other. We're going to go back in time. We're going to rewind the clock that I didn't set, and I certainly didn't make any of this up. It happened. I lived it. Even my loyalist friends and followers, when I originally dug this out, when it was suppressed, and people were calling me a lunatic, oh, you're lying, you're a closet liberal, how could you make these things up? But yet here we are today. Donald J. Trump reiterates all my words on national TV, to my huge, explosive surprise, bigger than my B7 Never Say Never presentation. Blew that out of the water, and Donald J. Trump even presented Justin Trudeau that I didn't even present, but I presented the Jason Kenney collusion. This is where all roads lead. You wonder why Donald J. Trump hates Pierre Poilievre? He hates a whole pile of conservatives. He deals with it in MAGA, Make America Great Again. He's been telling you ever since Alberta, when he ran out of there, he's been telling you for a week straight, me and my people are MAGA. Understand what that is. That's not Alberta, Saskatchewan, or anything in Canada, or any of the corruption and disease of Canada's political system and crown. He's not King Donald Trump. That is slap in the face on what he's doing right now. But without further ado, and without going into too much, I want to just target this absolute undeniable truth. And anyone can press me more and more, and all you're going to get is a puke out of how pathetic all your parties are. But today, focus is on absolutely the conservatives and liberals, where, yes, this was a conservative government, but they were in lockstep with the liberals. In fact, they used Justin Trudeau's resolution. Can't make this up. Can't make it up. And if you thought ever Jason Kenney, and this means Daniel Smith, absolutely. If you ever thought they weren't involved in all of this, you're sadly mistaken. I can tie almost every single politician in Canada to all of these things. Disgusting. Disgusting. Trump's right. He's right about Canada. And you're about to see we're going to go through it in tremendous detail. Thank you. So I'll blow it up here. Let's start with a news flash from the past. Again, I can't make it up. CBC News, politics, Justin Trudeau under fire for Ukraine joke. Liberal leader joked Russians already in a bad mood over Olympic hockey loss when he was laughing about Canada getting ready to throw them out of the G8. Canada led it. Look at the date. February 24th, 2014. Very early in the year, right? And the conservatives were all over Justin Trudeau. I'm going to read this to you. This is inside that article. It's very important, all the names and what was reported and what was published on Twitter. All names in this: Jason Kenney, Justin Trudeau, Ralph Goodale. Absolutely, okay? Liberal Deputy Leader Ralph Goodale and Liberal Foreign Affairs critic Marc Garneau defended Trudeau on Twitter. The Liberals, Goodale said, had discussed the crisis in Ukraine over the weekend and adopted a resolution with Trudeau's unequivocal support. The resolution was voted on during the Olympic gold medals men's hockey game between Canada and Sweden, however, which Trudeau was watching in a different room. Okay? They voted on it because Trudeau was the leader. So it's basically saying Trudeau doesn't make anyone vote, conservative or others, right? Why this is important, everybody, and why no conservative can dismiss this. Look at Jason Kenney's Privy Council position with Stephen Harper, who adopted this resolution, and they passed this in Privy Council, not in Parliament. Okay? This is why it's important. Can't make this up. This wasn't available. I broke this. This wasn't available. Now you can find it easily on Wikipedia. Just a few years ago, I was run down, ridiculed, accused of being a liberal. I couldn't even imagine just how ignorant people were, or how ignorant people can get when faced with the truth. But truth, it's there in plain sight. Now, of course, a lot of Albertans and conservative base, yeah, Jason Kenney ended up being no good. Well, this is important for you, because this is on what Donald J. Trump told you all. He was very involved. Look, Ralph Goodale, and this is on Jason Kenney. Yes, same Jason Kenney. He was very involved in the Young Liberals as a young man, and in 1988 was executive assistant to Ralph Goodale, the leader of the provincial party at the time. Not long after, in 1989, Jason Kenney was hired as the first executive director of the Alberta Taxpayers Association, which advocated for fiscal responsibility. You'll find all of these players are tied to the same NGOs, largely off of Liberals and everybody else. It's all one con job and design. And it's very important if you call yourself a conservative. That means you believe you're a real conservative. Learn these truths. Ralph Goodale, hardcore liberal, hardcore central, just like Trump told you. And it was Justin Trudeau's resolution. Yes, Harper was prime minister who put it through, but who was his cabinet minister on the file at the time? Well, that was Jason Kenney, that all Alberta conservatives voted in just a few years later as Premier of Alberta. Pathetic, right? And he was the one who got the Liberals' resolution to Stephen Harper, who passed it. And guess whose resolution? Justin Trudeau and Ralph Goodale. Can't deny it. Can't lose sight of this. Locked in history. Maybe they'll erase it. I know my video is going to get erased. I put up the slideshow for everybody. So far, that's safe on Facebook. Within 30 days, this video will be gone. This video of absolute historical truth, undeniable, proves that Donald J. Trump was 110% deadly accurate at the G7, and you know why he ran out the front door as fast as he came in. Came in, signed with UK, gave a devastating blow to not only Alberta, but Canada, and you watched your Premier, Danielle Smith, tail between her legs, run over to who? Oh yeah, Pete Hoekstra, the ambassador, the one I introduced to everybody, said this is your avenue for all Canadians if you want to reach the President of the United States, right? It's pathetic. They all lie to you. They will all lie, cheat, steal. They are all about each other and themselves. They play that they hate each other. Really, they're constantly behind the scenes playing a game. USA is getting rid of this. That's what MAGA is, draining the swamp. He fights all of this. He couldn't even stand being in the patheticism of Canada in Kananaskis, Donald Trump. He gave Canada 30 days. He gave others a whole bunch of major timelines, and there's going to be serious consequences if people don't make them. Mark Carney peed his pants. Mark Carney and the media never ever responded anything major other than it was Harper, but they don't like to show you this, right? And that's the media's own stories on who made the resolution passed by Stephen Harper. And how did it get from Ralph Goodale to Stephen Harper? It went through his good old good boy Jason Kenney, who was a real Ralph Goodale good boy, a pure liberal. And you'll find that Danielle Smith is too. She went through the same road as Jason Kenney. They grabbed these people when they're very young, right out of high school. It's a real perverted thing, but they're all groomed into it. They're all taught their superiority over you, the lowly subjects and filthy savages. I didn't create the system, just highlighting what it is, and the evidence is there for everybody. So please, folks, share. Again, I can't make it up. You can read the French story. I had that one translated, but in my earlier release, I even give you the whole French title in French, word for word, so that you bring up the original story. But this is the English converted. It's the real story. But there's a February 11th story too, with Justin Trudeau going through all of it in French. But this is still just as good, and it's undeniable. Undeniable evidence. And if you don't share it, you're only ruining your children. And take that word right there, Justin Trudeau under fire for Ukraine joke. If you want your kids to die in Russian-Ukraine war, you go ahead, put your head in the sand, because if there's going to be a World War III, it's going to be Europe, and it's going to be on these files. And Canada, will be punished the worst. They'll be the fodder, and it will be Canadians who are murdered at an epic rate first. Russia will make sure of that. I kid you not. And if you ever doubt that, I can show you from 1945 till today how many times the Allies have executed so many folks for their outrageous, grievous actions. And Donald J. Trump told you, I would be pissed if I was Vladimir Putin. And you heard him say that right out of his mouth. I would be greatly upset. I'd be offended. I'd be pissed straight off. And who are they pissed off at? Of all countries, not USA, Canada. Canada led this. Your Liberals, your Conservatives, your NDP, sick, mentally deranged, serious, flawed human beings. And if you've never read my paper, it's on YouTube. You can find it. It's called The Nature of International Law, as it really is. There's a formula to show you how many times all of your politicians will screw up on the world stage. And that percentage is extremely high, which means we're deteriorating as a country faster than anyone can imagine. And if we don't get the 51st state, I think we're going to be third world status before people even can really fathom or realize. And there's a lot of pain that comes along with this, especially in a World War III situation where our sovereignty locked under China and how we're narrated legally and in our actions and our deeds geopolitically always mirrors for the best interests of the UK, and they will sell us short like they always have. Share, share, share. Get the video out there. It's all here. It's for everybody, at least for the next 30 days. God bless everybody. Bye now. Enjoy your night.